All right, now to our backstory segment, and Queensland's research-led Griffith University has recently received an extra $2 million in research funding to develop technology that enables people with spinal cord injuries to walk again. The boost will ensure teams at the university create a commercially available product in 6 to 8 years from now. I spoke with researchers Jenny and James St John earlier on how the university will achieve this.
The research at Griffith University is very focused on translational research and delivering products to the community. What I find exciting is that we are producing three-dimensional cell products and also drugs to have a comprehensive therapies. These are designed to help treat spinal cord injury, peripheral nerve injuries, and even potentially Alzheimer's disease. So a whole range of different therapies we're targeting.
Jenny, I had the privilege to have a look through the facility the other day, and it is extraordinary what you guys are doing. Tell us some of the strides and advancements you're making, for example, in spinal cord injury.
In spinal cord injury, we are working with a type of cell from the nose called olfactory sheathing cells. And we are improving this therapy so that we can take cells from the nose and transplant into the person's injured spinal cord. We're working particularly on putting these cells in 3 dimensions and transplanting them that way.
Okay. Now, an injury of the spine is obviously incredibly debilitating. How do you deal with people and the research that goes into this sort of thing? How do you actually give these people hope?
Yeah. So we work very closely with the community. It's really inspiring for our research team to talk to people who live with spinal cord injury, and they give us ideas about what they want. And so we can design a comprehensive therapy. It's not just cell transplantation, but also the journey afterwards, the rehabilitation, because it takes a long time to repair spinal cord injury. But it's a highly motivating driving force for us to work with these people.
And Jenny, where are you at with the clinical trials in this particular area?
We are not at clinical trials yet. We are working with preclinical research, so in animal models and in cells in the lab, but we are hoping to go to a clinical trial as soon as possible.
And what do you need to get to that point? Tell us the process that goes from where you are now to get to clinical trials and ultimately, hopefully, to get some sort of advanced recuperative system going.
First, we need to refine the method, make it even better in the preclinical phase. Then we're working closely with a scientific advisory board who tells us when they feel that we are ready to go to clinical trials. So we actually don't make that decision ourselves.
Okay. All right, James, who are the most susceptible to these sorts of injuries? I mean, is it young men? You often hear of whether it's accidents in sport or whether it's water, aquatic-related accidents. And tell us the sort of the variety, if you like, the severity of what can happen when these things go awry.
The tragedy is that it happens to perfectly healthy people, but as you said, particularly men who are more likely to do risk-taking activities such as sport. But unfortunately, it's also middle-aged men who go up a ladder preparing their house, they fall off, and so they are now the highest category of people who suffer spinal cord injury.
Right, men, for example, on ladders, they are particularly susceptible.
All at home, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's also sporting injuries, people diving into shallow water, people riding their bicycle being hit by a car. So it can happen in a flash, you can't predict it, and it's life-changing.
And what's this translational therapies thing about?
So translation therapy is to take the great science ideas and then think about how can we have that sort of commercial aspect so we can deliver it as soon as possible into the clinic. So we work very closely with clinicians and also now with industry to work out how can we produce that product so it's ready to go for hospital settings rather than being a science product.
And Jenny, tell us about the impact of the diseases on people and how the work you guys do goes a long way towards helping these people.
So quite a lot of people in Australia and in other countries suffer from neurological diseases, particularly with our increased aging population. Like James said, the older people are now a high category for spinal cord injury, but obviously also for neurodegenerative disease. Tell
us about the research you're doing into, for example, Alzheimer's at the moment.
So we're looking at what causes Alzheimer's disease. The causes are not known to date. So we're looking at a combination of many factors that can lead to neuroinflammation and contribute to Alzheimer's disease. And we're also looking for new drugs that can stimulate cells in the brain to clear protein aggregates that cause some of the Alzheimer's disease symptoms.
Tell us a little bit about the funding model that you guys work under at the moment, James.
So we have funding from various sources, including the Queensland Government, but also particularly from philanthropy, and also from the National Health and Medical Research Council. But the key is that we have to have diversity within our research team and bring in new people. The more people we have with more ideas, the more results we can get, the more new approaches we can get. So we're still a long way from getting a comprehensive therapy. So by having new sources of funding, we can bring in and attract the best people from around the world.
And just finally, guys, where does Australia fit? Where do we actually rank in this sort of research and advancement in technology in trying to deal with these particular problems?
I feel that we rank very high. Australia is very advanced in these fields. There's amazing labs in Europe and in the United States and other countries too, but we're good here in Australia.